Welcome to our Facebook Live.
Good morning.
I'm John Crouch, and this is Amy Ryan with Ryan Brothers Chimney Sweeps, and we're here to talk about why springtime is the best time to think about your fireplace. We're going to be looking at different products. We're going to be talking about different kinds of fireplaces, different kinds of things that you need to know before you talk to a fireplace expert. But Amy, why is springtime the best time to talk about fire?
Springtime is the best time because Hearth retailers have the time to talk to you. They are not running in 47 different directions, and you can get your new product installed before the upcoming burn season. So that's why spring is the best.
And talk is key here. Amy, I know you've had the same thing I have, which is we get these emails sometimes from folks who describe this convoluted question they want to have with their fireplace, and you just go, oh my gosh, there are just some things you can't answer on the internet. You got to go talk to somebody, or better yet, somebody has to go out to the house. You guys do a lot of site visits.
Correct. We do a ton of pre-sites, and that is key because then we can measure it. We know what's going to fit. We know what condition your fireplace is in. We know what kind of fireplace you have and what's going to fit the best for your needs. So that's the best.
And if I had a nickel for every time I've heard someone say, oh, it's just a regular fireplace.
We wouldn't still be in this industry if we had a nickel for every time we heard that question. We would be on an island somewhere.
Fireplaces vary a lot. Bless their hearts, for a mason, a fireplace is often more of an artistic endeavor than a rote kind of, it's certainly not a product made in a factory, it's made on site. And if you do start to put things into them, you discover the details of how the mason made it. But before we talk about what you could put into a fireplace, let's keep it simple. Many times folks have a fireplace that came with the house with no mantle, and that's all they want to do is just add a mantle that reminds them of their folks' house or their grandparents' house. And some hearth stores specialize in mantles or beautiful surrounds, and you just need to find the right one and spend some time with them and look at your options. Sometimes a fireplace is in a very formal living room and people don't ever want to light a fire in it. Somewhere between 10 and 20% of the fireplaces probably never get a fire, but you can have brass andirons, you can have brass fenders, you can have all the accoutrements that make it a beautiful traditional fireplace.
Very ornate, yes.
But we are going to talk about heating options because fireplaces are really not designed to throw out much heat, and there's a whole host of options, including, this is getting warm, including some things, a lot of different kinds of fuels that will allow you to get heat from your fireplace. But you know, the $64 question that we all end up being asking consumers, and they go, oh, is do you have a masonry fireplace or a factory-built fireplace?
Lydia and I ask that question all day, every day when people call for service.
So Lydia, I'm going to walk over. Let's see how this works with our Facebook Live. Going to walk over to our demonstration because 99 out of 100 consumers say, well, it's just a fireplace. What do you mean made in a factory? The key is not inside, because inside you're going to see, even on a factory-built fireplace, a panel that is designed to look like brick. And this will be the back and the sides of the fireplace, and if it's like this, that's an indicator of a factory-built fireplace. By the way, if this is cracked or broken, it needs to be replaced because this is part of the safety system of that fireplace. But the best way is to go outside. So we've got a couple of tops here. We would call them termination caps. If you look up at the top of your chimney and you see a square clay masonry flue, either without a cap or with a cap, that's a masonry fireplace. Typically it's going to be surrounded by brick, and that's a masonry fireplace. It was built on site when the house was built. But many, many fireplaces since the 60s were actually built in a factory, brought to the construction site, and framed in. And they're very safe because they've been tested very carefully to be safe, but what we can put in them varies from these two kinds of concepts. So if you look up and you see a metal pipe with some kind of cap on top of it, that's a factory-built fireplace. And very quickly, even before the expert comes out to your site, they'll be able to help you look at what can and can't go, because these two fireplaces get different kinds of inserts. And speaking of inserts, Amy's got some to show us here.
We do. So over John's shoulder, you saw what was a gas insert. We have some examples of a wood insert, a pellet insert. So this is a more contemporary wood insert. You can see it with a large viewing area. A lot of the manufacturers are going to that. You open the door, build your fire. It's very efficient. They're all EPA certified.
Amy, I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
This insert could heat a house for hours.
Hours. This
Yes.
has got up to a 12-hour burn time. There are some manufacturers that have up to a 24 or a 36-hour burn time, depending on the wood and how it's loaded. So you can get a really good burn time out of this and heat your home and cut down on your bills.
Well, that's right. When we talk about upgrading your fireplace, this is the classic thing.
This is a great, wood insert. It seals a hole in the house, makes the air quality better. Then we've got what you can see over here are pellets. It's still a solid fuel, but it gives you the ease of simply going over to the remote, the thermostat, pushing a button. You've got a thermostat, you've got a fan, you're good to go. You just keep the hopper full. So we're going to go and talk about some electric options. I'm going to have Eric turn off the lights so you guys can see. Over my shoulder here, we've got some electric options. You can do these into an existing fireplace or not, because they do not require a fireplace or a chimney. They just require a wall in your home. So that's a great option if you don't have natural gas or you don't have an actual existing fireplace.
And speaking of gas, here we are in front of this beautiful fireplace. This is not an insert, but it's an example of the kind of thing that a smaller version could be inserted.
Correct.
But this was just a wall, right? And
It was.
You guys added this fireplace here.
It was just a wall, and we met the specs and just put this beauty in and did a mantle and the surround around it. So it just shows what kind of options you have, even if you have an existing home. So,
Right. God, that's hot.
Yes.
So there's so many things you can do, but they need to be discussed face to face. So again, now's the time to come find a Hearth retailer. There are mass merchants that sell some products, but their people typically can't answer very many questions. And this is not a trivial product. This is a product that makes fire in your living room or family room. So it needs to be properly sized, properly installed. Well, and speaking of proper installation,
Thank you. I was going to prod you in that direction if we didn't get there.
there is a organization called the National Fireplace Institute, which certifies installers. They have separate exams for each of the major product categories: gas, wood, and pellet. And people have to recertify every 3 years. It's a tough exam, and it's exactly the kind of thing that I want. If I'm going to put a product in my house, I want the person who's doing it not to be practicing on my house, but to really know what they're doing. Over the years, we've had people who say, well, can I put the product in myself? Yeah, and the answer is maybe. But do you really want to practice with your house, or do you want somebody who really knows what they're doing? So we strongly recommend NFI. And many retailers will not install someone else's product, and many retailers will not just sell the product without requiring you to have installation either from their in-house staff or someone that they know, because if it's not the way you want it and you call us, we want to know that we did the whole thing. If your brother-in-law is going to install it for you, well, if it's not like you expected, you'll have to call him. But NFI certification is critical.
And there's a website you can go to. It's nficertified.org. And you put in your zip code, and it pulls up all the certified technicians and what their certification is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some people may have wood and not gas, or gas and not wood, whatever. The best shops tend to have folks who've got
All of them.
all of them. And what do they call that at NFI?
They're Master Hearth technicians.
Right, right. So all of this has been inside. We'll probably have to do another Facebook Live on all the wonderful things that are appearing for outdoor fireplaces, because it's a whole other thing. By the way, this video will live on Facebook for a long time. So if it's Christmas right now and you're sitting in front in a cold room with a blanket over you, plan for the next summer.
We'll see you in April.
We'll see you in April. Right, right. That's oftentimes when people say, you know, we've got to do something about this fireplace.
The week before Christmas. Always a great plan.
So think about now. Don't wait. Don't wait till the fall when companies like Amy's are just going, you're booking out weeks in advance.
Yes, yes.
Working long hours. Talk to us now. And if you have questions, be sure you put them at the bottom of the video, because even long after the video's no longer live, we'll be answering questions on this site. HPBA, the Trade Association for Hearth Products, has a website, hpba.org, which has a ton of information for consumers as well as for our members. But the consumers can find products, they can find dealers in their area, and then of course, as Amy, as you said, NFI certified for.
Lots of resources to help you figure out what you want to put in.
Now's the time. Go for it. Work on your fireplace.
Yes,
Call us.
call us. Call your specialty retailer.
All right.
Thank you.